B
Tier.
besties. We're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
This is probably
Today,
going to be. Oh, you go right ahead, Nicholas.
okay, thank you. I was just gonna say today we're ranking mythical creatures.
We are doing that. And
I
this is probably one of our last videos where we're not together in person. We had a little bit of a inconsistent upload schedule recently, and I don't know, we haven't had like the best audio quality perhaps, but like things are gonna get
True.
better. Um,
Yeah, people still watch them anyway for some reason.
yeah, the shapes by state video, so many views. I don't know why all of y'all are watching that video, but like, thank you.
Thanks. We're sorry that we we ranked so many states low, but
Yeah.
you know,
hmm
thanks for watching.
Maybe try harder next time if you want your state to be ranked higher.
True.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Looking at you, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's pretty good. I think
I know.
Wisconsin's
Just
a
wanna.
pretty good shape.
I know. No, just the comment that was vouching for Wisconsin. It's too
Sure.
much.
Sure.
Too much.
Well, anyway,
Okay.
we're doing mythical creatures today. Um, we got a sort of a mix. Some of them are from mythology. Some of them are more just like supernatural type
Mhm.
things. Some of them are more like fantasy, like high fantasy type things. So we got stuff like elves and goblins, but we also have like Centaur. We try to include a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the arts are just like random Magic the Gathering arts. Some of them are some random clip art we found. This is a mix. Hopefully, you can tell what everything is.
hmm Yeah. I mean, a wide variety. I feel like we should get started.
Sure. What are we starting with here, Nicholas?
Oh, this is a giant,
Whoa.
courtesy of me.
And
But yeah,
no,
well the sorry, what were you gonna say?
oh, so yeah, so it's a giant, like Jack and the Beanstalk style giant. You know, what other famous giants are there? Um,
Um, all of the giants who play on the New York Giants football team.
true. Tall Girl is also pretty giant. Um,
She's like 6'1".
yeah, that's. Are you saying that's not the giants we're talking about here?
I'm not,
Mm.
in fact. Well, I am saying that, but I'm not. Yeah, she's not a giant, unfortunately.
My roommate, or I guess technically ex-roommate now, we're no longer roommates, but
Whoa.
he had a Magic the Gathering deck based around giants, where you just take one giant and then get a whole bunch of copies of it, and so there's like one giant that doubles all damage, but if you have like 10 of it, then you're like 2 to the power of 7, or 2 to the power of 10, like times the amount of damage you'd usually do, and so it's bonkers.
That
So,
is
that,
crazy.
so that's a pretty cool thing about giants. But
I
like,
think we should. Well, go
what do you
ahead.
think? What do you think we should do?
No, I think I was gonna say something entirely different, but
Me too.
oh, okay. Well, no, I was gonna say I think we should clarify, that you and your roommate, you're on good terms.
We are on
Because
good
that,
terms. Yeah, no,
yeah, I feel that's
he's my ex roommate, but like we parted peacefully. We were just like he's
it's a
gonna live this.
healthy,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
healthy exes.
yeah. We love each other. It's great. Um,
hmm
mhm.
I just figured that people were really invested.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Zev, great roommate. Miss you,
Shout out
bud.
to Zev.
I'll miss you.
We really, me too. I'll miss you too.
But your relationship with Zev is probably not changing at all. You weren't roommates with
It's
Zev.
it's probably not, but now when I refer to your roommate, it's gonna be different people, and it's like
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to like come up with new terms for Zev.
true. Who is Zev gonna be? Is Zev just gonna be friend? He doesn't have a
He
unique
might,
term that
he might not. Yeah.
he's unicycle guy.
He really is unicycle guy.
Okay,
Oh
but
man.
like Zev is shorter than Tall Girl, and Tall Girl isn't even a giant. So
Yeah, that was where we were at
yeah
with our ranking. I would say giants, um, they're just tall people, right?
there's nothing interesting about them. They're just like kind of large. Like if you think of Attack
Yeah.
on Titan, the giants there are
hmm
kind of dumb and they don't really do much interesting thing. Like it's just like
Yeah.
they're just
Well,
large. But like
aren't those?
zombies are more interesting in terms of like
I
a
thought
threat.
those were. I thought those were titans in Attack on Titan.
I feel Titan giant they're sort of synonymous.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know. I don't know much about the legacy of giants. But
Regardless,
no, so I think yeah, it took us like 3 minutes to get here, but I think I would say D tier.
I also agree with D tier. They're not that great. Like, there's nothing about being a giant that makes like Jack and the Beanstalk work.
Oh,
If that's a
and
werewolf,
also,
it could be the same story.
yeah, no, it could be a yeah. The only thing, yeah, it could be like any evil creature kind of.
And if you want like a cool size differential, like dragons do that so well. Like just having like a small like humanoid next to like a
Hmm.
dragon as it opens its eyes, that gives you a good
Crazy,
sense of scale.
right?
Giants is like a more boring version of that.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like actively wrong with them, so I don't think it deserves that.
No, I agree. I just think they're kind of boring. D tier.
Sure, let's move on. Werewolves.
Um,
Are you on Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I'm team.
Is it Edward? Is that the other one? Is
Yeah,
that
I'm team Jacob all the way.
I'm Team they both suck. Go be single without either of them.
You know,
What?
as a Jacob stan, that kind of hurts my feelings.
But like Twilight gives werewolves a bad name. I
No,
guess
I
that's
agree.
why. That's
I think everybody in those movies kind of sucks. Um, but I think werewolves, yeah, they are very synonymous with Twilight at this point. But also, they're just not that interesting. Sure, you turn into a wolf, kind of.
under the
It's
full
still a bit
moon.
yeah, it's still a bit too humanoid for me.
Yeah, and it's like interesting because like it's like a sleeper agent. You know, like you're a human at some point, and then you can turn into a wolf. But like, what is a
Yeah.
werewolf other than just like the Hulk, just like becoming super angry and like
Hmm.
wolf-like? Like that's not like that interesting of a concept. Um,
No.
and like I don't know, it feels like I don't know. I'm just like not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I would say like C tier though.
I do think it's better than Giant because it's doing something, you know.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
But like, is it just an excuse to make a bunch of men take off their shirts because they get ripped off and then become wolves? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, perhaps.
But, I'll take it any day of the week.
Okay, sure. Let's move on. Is this what's this one right here? I can't tell.
This is a Sphinx.
Ooh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Um, I don't really know much about these things. I know the one in Egypt is a Sphinx, right?
Yeah.
That's the same creature, kind of. That's
Hmm.
like a cat creature. This is like a
And the
woman.
I mean, like sphinxes are like a bunch of different parts. They're sort of like a manticore or like whatever, like that broad category of species that like they're
Oh,
sort of
okay.
taking a bunch of different parts, like a
Gotcha.
less crazy chimera. Um,
Hmm.
um, I don't know. There's nothing like too interesting about a sphinx. I guess we've said that for the giant and the werewolf, but I feel like we will get more interesting things. You know, like I feel
Yeah, I
like
think this is a slow start.
yeah,
But I do think at the same time, I like the wings, if I'm being honest.
and they're
Um,
pretty majestic. Like a sphinx is like classy.
yeah, they're associated with telling riddles sometimes.
True, true. They the riddles are less chaotic though than like golems from like The Hobbit.
True.
Hmm.
I guess when I think about it, though, just based on everything else that we have on this list, I still think it's probably C tier,
Yeah,
if top of C tier.
I think it's worse than werewolf, honestly.
I think it's worse. I
We
don't
could
know
put it
about
both
that.
werewolf. They're both kind
I
of meh.
I think the majestic stuff though is kind of interesting, and I just find werewolves to be a little more. I feel like the Sphinx has a lot more going on with it, maybe, than the
Sure.
werewolves. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe that's just my personal bias against the werewolves.
sure. Well, anyway, let's move on to
Hmm.
is that a siren right there?
Yeah, that's a siren.
Yeah. Sirens are kind of interesting because like their whole thing is that they like they are able to reach your like deepest darkest desires or whatever and like attract you to do something and like 90% of the time it's sex. Like why are people so horny? I don't know. Regardless.
Yeah, but they have the like the boat,
Yeah.
carrying like that's just kind of fun,
And like it's the
It's a fun
siren
story.
song and like you have to like tie the person up to make them not come to the siren, but like they're still gonna go there anyway, you know? Like they'll find a
Yeah,
way to get untied up.
but
Um
it's also like female empowerment maybe a little bit because
I I don't
you
know. Is it
I just think like well it's like a the Sirens are like kind of like independent. They like sort of resist the male advance, and it's kind of like it's like not like it's not perfect female empowerment. I just feel like it's a step right direction in terms of like you know it gives them some agency. I'm sure they're like super
Sure.
evil and stuff, but
I
I
wouldn't
just
call
feel
something
like
a step in the right direction though if it was in the Odyssey, because that's not really a step. It's sort of something that happened a while ago.
yeah, I guess that's a good point.
This is not
Shout
some
out,
new like storytelling tactic that like writers are employing today.
yeah, I guess a step in the right direction in terms of the 2000 BC stories. Like the Sumerian stories. Homer
Sure.
really he really advanced, you know, the role of women. That's not true at all. But
That's not true. But
shout out to the Odyssey though.
mhm. I had to read that for I think what is that freshman year English
Of high school or
of high school. Yeah,
wow. Yeah, I'm a classics minor, so um I've read it.
me too. I've not read the Iliad though, so
Actually, I haven't either, but it does not seem that interesting. Like
yeah.
it's pretty much just a war book, which is kind of it's not super exciting from what I've heard. But then the moments where there is a war are apparently like super heartbreaking.
Huh. Interesting. Regardless,
Uh,
within the Siren itself, I feel there's not much of personality there though. Like, what does the
no,
Siren want other than just like attracting people to trick them and then kill them or something? Like, I don't know.
I think that story though is super cool, and I don't know that the others we've got into have had stories like that are
Yeah,
super interesting.
I do think we're getting cooler things though. So I wouldn't want to put it above B.
Yeah, I think B though.
Okay. Next we got Alien. I don't know if
Um,
Alien truly fits on mythical creatures list, but I feel like it's sort of like fits with like zombies and vampires and like that sort of thing, I feel like.
yeah, it's mythical creatures. It's kind of just creatures that are like I was gonna say not real, but aliens could be real. But at the
Yeah.
moment, things that you know aren't real and in
Yeah.
like fantasy movies and stuff or science
Sure.
fiction.
Yeah.
So,
I
so I think it fits, but I don't know
I
about aliens in general.
I think aliens are really cool. I think
I think,
is a really interesting concept because like there is a semblance of realism there of like what could the world outside of Earth look like?
mm,
And so it always requires some sort of degree of creativity. And so like the bit boring Martian alien isn't that interesting. But like aliens more broadly, I think there's a lot of cool things that can get done with them.
yes, yeah, you do have like a wide,
Hmm.
wide scope of things that could happen
And then
with
getting more into
aliens.
realism too, like just thinking about like the Fermi paradox or whatever. Like it's kind of interesting to think about like why haven't we seen aliens? Like, is it
Mm.
true that society self-destruct before they can actually like do enough space travel or whatever? And like those are cool questions. And like I don't know, that makes the alien a really fascinating creature because
Yeah,
no one's afraid of like some Cyclops coming to mess them up. But like an alien, like you don't really know what to expect, which is
I
like
guess
sort of
that's true.
like a sympathetic alien, like E.T. or whatever. That is like such a wholesome, heartwarming story that people like, because it's like, hey, look, there's these like super foreign creatures that like you know nothing about, and like they're actually like they can be our friends, and you could like get across those like differences that are more than just like a language difference, but it's like an extreme culture shock. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, I guess
What do you think
I
about
think
aliens?
they're. Well, I don't know. I think they're a little boring, or maybe it's just that they've been over depicted in a bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
I guess I might just be feeling a little like alien tired,
Sure.
but I don't know. I guess they could be like A tier.
Yeah, I think A tier is fine for them. I don't think they have the consistency to be S tier. Because sometimes aliens are
Yeah.
kind of boring. Yeah.
Yeah, but you are right that they can do a lot, or
Hmm.
that you can do a lot with aliens, and they have pretty interesting stories at times.
Sure.
All
Next we
right.
got Centaur.
Uh, yeah. Um, I don't know. They're kind of cool.
Hmm. I think I don't know. they also sort of like a majestic element to them. Um, I once described them as, or sorry, I think what was it? The Play It by Ear series on College Humor on Dropout TV once had an episode where they described it, I think, as a one half man, one half centaur, and so it ended up being like three quarters man, or maybe it's the other way
Oh,
around. Maybe it's three quarters horse. But like
oh.
that devolved into a funny gag. So y'all should go check that out on dropout.tv if you have the chance. Um, but yeah, they're sort of like sphinxes. I feel like they're like they can be interesting, but like inherently like I don't know. There's nothing too special about them.
Yeah, I would put them on a similar level, maybe above those slightly.
Yeah, I think they're kind of simple. They have a simple design that makes them cool.
Mm,
That makes me almost willing to put in B tier.
sure, we could do that.
Cool. Next we got
All right.
elves.
I love this photo.
So there's sort of two types of elves. There's like the
Hmm.
fantasy elf, like high fantasy, like D&D style elf. And then you also got like the Santa elf, which is here, which is more comical, more like I'm gonna go make you a present, and it's like iPhone X, and then we can ignore all like the legal troubles there that like Santa's operating an iPhone X creation business, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I well, which one should we pick though? Because
I think it's both. I think both of them are elves.
that's gonna affect my decision quite a lot. Because one of them is like F tier for me. One of them is like high A tier.
So I'm assuming you don't like the Santa elves.
I don't.
I
Um,
I feel we could ignore the Santa elves, you know, as long as we
yeah,
bring them up, acknowledge them.
sure. It's funny because the photo is a Santa elf, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
But um, I think Santa elves, we can bring them up now. I just think they just always seem so dumb
yeah,
and just like they don't do much besides work all the time. And like I feel like in Christmas movies we need more. We need to see more of them.
yeah. We need to see
We
like
need
what
less
their lives are
Santa.
like. Yeah,
Hmm.
like what are
Yeah,
they
what are
making
their
with this
lives?
life? Like,
Yeah, and like in June and stuff. What are they up to in June? Are they working
yeah,
then too?
I don't know.
How's that? It can't be because they don't have any of the wishes.
Yeah, but they also must like it must take a long time to make all the things.
I know.
So maybe they
Maybe
create a
they
bunch
just
of
make
things
a
in
bunch of
bulk,
stuff.
and then like
Yeah, exactly.
maybe they sometimes have surpluses, you know? They're like, oh shoot,
Hmm.
no one wanted bicycles this year, but we already made like a million bikes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. If a movie like that would be interesting.
Isn't that what colleges do? They like admit a bunch of people because they know some people are going to reject them.
Probably.
Yeah, so like
Yeah,
Christmas is like
like
college,
yeah, that is true.
but
Um
we're not here to talk about Santa elves. We're here to talk about fancy elves.
well, I mean, you know. I mean, this is kind of a silly reason to like elves. My favorite video game franchise. Um, my favorite video game franchise is Dylan.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Friend,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
friendship friendship test.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's the one that has like the green guy with like the hat and like he sort of looks like this character right here, like below the F. You know, he's like what's his name? Like
Yeah.
Zelda. His name's Zelda, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, The
Yeah,
Legend
that
of Zelda. That one. Yeah.
yeah, that. Um so at first I actually thought you forgot the name of the series. And I
No.
was like, how's that possible?
No.
Um but yeah, I think that look, is a cool one. I feel like you look kind of cool. They always like have bows and stuff.
Is Link an
Fantasy
elf
elves.
technically?
No, but he's based on an elf design.
Sure.
Like there's no elf race in the games, but
Hmm.
that's
He does have
all
like
of
those
the
elf ears.
yeah, he does have the elf ears. Um and plus like in like I'm thinking like Lord of the Rings here, like Legolas,
Hmm.
that guy. Um I think archery is cool, so that I think that impacts my decision a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
know, they just always seem kind of epic.
They do sometimes seem kind of epic. How are they different from humans though?
I really think it's just in the context that they're in. It's always in an
Yeah.
epic context.
Yeah.
Like
But like
humans don't really do much. But the elves, meanwhile, are like just always seem like they have like their stuff put together, you know?
Sure.
Like they have like good advanced civilizations. They're going out archery, going arching around. That's not the right verb, but you
Yeah.
know, doing some archery. I kind of like
Sure.
them. I just think they look cool. I think
I
it's
agree.
because they look cool in so many movies and stuff. I don't think inherently they're that cool, maybe, but
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, especially this image here. Look at that
Yeah,
doofus.
yeah, that's a doofus looking dude.
Yeah. Where do you think we should put the elf? You think A tier?
I think A tier. I would
Below
put
alien?
you can put below aliens, yeah, but
Yeah.
I like A tier.
Next we got
If you
the Cyclops. Unless you want to stay on the elf for a little bit longer.
No, I was just gonna say if you're okay with A tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Cool.
We got
Yeah,
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Look, he gets
I don't.
defeated so easily. You just like stab him in the eye. It's like, oh, I know
Yeah, and
see.
that's
Well,
that's always and that's always how it happens too.
yeah. It's like
I mean,
it's like the Death
yeah.
Star. Like there's like plans printed into the animal saying like this is how you defeat me. But unlike the Death Star, in which we learned in Rogue One, spoilers, that was planned from the start. Like it was like intentionally put in there so that the Death Star could be defeated. You'd think that the
Wait, what?
Cyclops, yeah, like the Death Star was
Oh,
created to have like a weak spot.
was it in
By
Rogue
like,
One?
I think Rogue One is where they revealed that. Yeah,
I missed that, and I saw that movie.
I could be misremembering, but some facts just went on screen.
Oh wait, here I've got you. Ready?
Yeah. Yes, yes. The real facts went on screen then. Um,
Yeah. Before it was a fake fact.
yeah, I was going to do that earlier, but then I realized that I didn't know how to, so I didn't do any sound effects. But yeah, so they have a weak point though, the Cyclops.
Hmm.
That should have been taken out by national, like sorry, not national selection. We're not talking about like the draft, but natural
Jeez.
selection.
Yeah.
Like they,
I think. Yeah. No, you're right. It's a little too obvious, you know. Giants
one
are tall, but they don't have that, obvious defect.
the thing though that prevents me from ranking Cyclops extremely low is that it does create a really easy narrative for like the underdog story of like, hey, look at this person, they're so much weaker than the Cyclops, but hey, they're able to stab it and die and like overpower, and like I think that is a pretty like easy to do underdog story, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of sick of that though.
Yeah.
Sick of it. That's another Odyssey thing, you know.
I just
Another story from the Odyssey.
I'm vouching for it not to be an F.
No, I wasn't saying F. I think
Yeah.
it would be D. Um, Probably below the giant just because of the,
Yeah.
you know,
hmm
it's basically a giant but with one eye. That's not
Sure.
not fun.
hmm Next we got Devil.
Uh, um,
So we're talking about like the devil creature right now. We're not talking about the devil. We're not talking about like
right.
the religious like opposite of like you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I
Devil's
don't
like
know that. Yeah, devils. What do they do? They're not really that.
this. They sort of like pull tricks. At least like in D&D, devils they'll do a thing where like they make you sign a contract, and then like they're trying to get your soul. Um, and so like they're like you send the soul to the devil, you know. Like the devil went down to
Hmm.
Georgia, you know. I can't do the song. You imagine the devil went down the Georgia plain, and it's like, and if I win, I'm gonna get your soul.
It's so
You
much.
know,
No, I was gonna say it's so much better that I don't know this song.
you don't know the devil went down to Georgia?
No.
What? That's a classic. Wait,
Really?
can you play the duck song? Or sorry, the duck sound.
Yeah.
But also put the duck song in the description below.
Okay. Wait. What am I? What's happening when the duck sound plays? Are you just playing a?
Yeah, no, like put some information about the devil in Atlanta, Georgia, like who it's by,
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay. Cool.
because like that's a classic song. So basically, the devil goes down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal, and he runs into this guy named Johnny, and Johnny is like a um wait, what instrument are they playing? Is it the banjo? Wait. This is really embarrassing. People are gonna get mad at me for this.
Oh boy.
That was
They'll
like a
probably it's probably not as mad as they'll get for me for
yeah,
not knowing the song.
it's like a string instrument.
Okay.
They play something like the banjo. It might not, or it might be the fiddle or something like that. Um,
Sure, sure.
and basically they do like a competition to see who can play better. And so like the no, it's the fiddle. It's the fiddle. And Johnny, if he wins, he gets to keep the devil's fiddle. But if the devil wins, the devil gets Johnny's soul. And so
Okay.
you get the devil playing this like cool piece with like the like his devil friends in the background. There's like a chorus
Mhm.
of devils, and then Johnny comes in, and he's so good. He's so good at the fiddle, and so he wins the devil's fiddle, and he's like he knew he was gonna win because he's so good.
Mm.
And then he's like come back if you ever want to try again, devil. Because he's that confident in his fiddle playing.
Wow.
It's a classic song. Uh,
I'll have to look into that.
which all I'm saying is the devil's pretty cool in that respect. Like this is a quintessential example of the devil being cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, Nicholas, you're gonna have to stop for a second.
Hey guys, future Nicholas here. So at this point in the video, we took a brief little cut, and when we came back, Dylan's audio apparently got messed up, and couldn't tell at the time, but it sort of switches back and forth between being normal and robotic sounding every couple of minutes or so. So I'm going to be adding subtitles for every time he talks in the robotic voice, since it's kind of hard to understand, so please turn those on. But hopefully this shouldn't happen again. But yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and let's get back into it.
I will say though, I feel like the devil just I don't think the soul thing, what's is that all that there is to the devil?
I mean, it's just like playing tricks, you know.
Yeah,
The
I
tricksters
don't
are
know
like
if that's
they're interesting and this and that.
yeah. I just maybe I'm just not a trickster kind of guy.
They like
But I
loopholes. They
don't
like messing with people.
I mean, where do
Chaotic
you think the
evil.
devil should go? Where do you think a devil
I'm vouching for A tier right now.
A tier?
Yeah,
I think like C tier.
I can agree with B if that's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Like middle of B.
Yeah, sure. We can put it above the Centaur. I just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not. Maybe I need to hear the song
Yeah, you
to
gotta
rank
hear
it
the
higher.
song.
Yeah. Maybe I'll leave a little if I'm editing this, I'll leave a comment on screen if the song changed my mind.
Sure. Well, next we got fairies, and I think like elves, there's an important distinction to be made here because there's like the bubbly fairies, and there's also the fae, and like at least in the Magic the Gathering, you got the fae, which are like tricks, like they're a little tricky, like they're like pulling tricks, like the devils almost.
Sure.
I do think though that unlike elves, like the the fantasy fairy of being like super happy go lucky is sort of the common one. Like if you think about the tooth fairy, like coming in to put money under your pillow in exchange for your tooth, which is like it's a
Hmm.
kind of weird concept that you could grill into for longer, but that's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Tinkerbell type fairies here.
Yeah, I think that's the more common one.
Right. Um, I mean, I really don't know what to think about these guys. They're kind of annoying at times, but I think the whole like the look is kind of cool. I feel like we're trying to, with the whole list kind of, it's like a balance between looks and personality.
Yeah,
And I feel like the looks of the fairy I bring it up because I do think it's an interesting sign kind of.
I think it's also kind of cool that like because they're so small and so agile, like they can sort of like it almost feels like the parrot on the pirate's shoulder. Like
Mm.
the fairy's able to like. I think it makes them really good sidekick in stories. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I mean, what would you be thinking?
I'd say B right here.
Yeah, I would go. I think I would prefer B.
I'm fine
Uh,
with B, honestly.
okay.
I honestly, I might like them more than Devils. I'll say it. I think on a 7B would be my.
I would I would be happy to do that. You won't get
Like,
any resistance from me there.
Now that I think about it, I think Devil belongs in B. I don't think A tier. I think I got a little carried away with the song. But actually, thinking about it more logically, I think it's in the spot where I want it to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I will say though, have you seen Pan's Labyrinth before?
No, I'm not.
The fairies in that movie, I would not recommend.
Okay.
They're very disturbing.
Sure. Well, let's move on to the ghost. Ghosts
Yeah,
are
this
so
is
weird. Like the pranks ghosts pull when they're like, messing with your lamps, turning them on and off. That's like
hmm
boring ghost,
Do you like what kind of ghost do you like?
I don't know. It's like it's the ghosts of Christmas past and like Christmas future. All those aren't that interesting either. Like I feel like ghosts can be cool. I'm just struggling to think of a cool instance of them.
Casper the friendly ghost?
What's that?
He's a friendly ghost
From what?
named Casper. I actually have no idea.
Exa-
I
I,
know
I
that's
I
it's
recognize the
famous though
name.
in some way.
Yeah.
I know I was gonna say the same thing.
Mm,
I was kind of hoping when I said that you would be like, "Oh yeah, Casper," and then you would know more, but I
yeah.
also know very little about it.
I thought I was gonna
Um,
like ghosts a lot more, but now that I'm thinking about them, like, what interesting things do they do?
yeah,
Ooh,
it's kind of sad too. They're
King
dead.
Boo, King Boo, and just boos in general. They're pretty cool. I like them design wise, but like
Mm.
as like a character, like there's no personality there.
No, it's really this is all design, little personality.
Yeah, which
Um,
almost brings it down to for me.
yeah, no, I'm thinking like C tier here, I think, or maybe
I'm,
below B,
yeah, I
but it'd be
think
between the two.
Nobi top of C seems to
Yeah,
be the
I
best.
could do low B, I think.
Okay, above Centaur, below Centaur.
I kind of think above Centaur, but
Sure, I'm out of that.
I don't
That
know.
seems like a good place.
How much do you like Centaurs? Because I'd be willing to move it to top of
Yeah,
C.
I feel like top of C is probably the best place for Centaur.
Okay.
Cool. Let's move on to Gnome.
Um, this
Romeo
is
and
this,
Juliet.
yeah, Romeo and Juliet. That's an F tier for me.
Like gnomes or Romeo and Juliet is F tier.
Probably both.
I think gnomes further in my mind. The fact that Romeo and Juliet is like my first go-to when I think of gnomes says all you need to know about gnomes. Like,
Yeah.
no, let's move on. Unless you have anything more
Yeah.
you want to say about
No,
gnomes.
I mean, I don't think much more needs to be said than Romeo and Juliet. So I feel like if you guys, no, you guys watch at your own risk.
I
Um,
bet people were like, wow, they're being really positive in this video. But, no more Mr. Nice Guy.
yeah.
No, no, no more. Goblins.
Friends. Uh,
Goblins, though. What about them? Do you
what
like
about
the goblins?
um? No.
No, no.
Goblins are D or F, man. Goblins suck.
Goblins suck. They're sort of based off a racist stereotype,
Oh,
which is
really?
yeah, like they're
Oh, that's that's rough.
yeah, yeah. I and I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain, and perhaps put some facts on screen, that they're like based off like a Jewish like stereotype. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, and like goblins are so widespread now that like there's like definitely a lot of variations in goblins. So I'm not saying that like all goblins are like this, but like historically, um,
Not all goblins. We can't
no,
stereotype goblins out here.
no, I'm trying to say that it's possible to do goblins well now. I imagine, but like
Sure,
this
sure.
is
No,
also
just
probably a conversation that is out of the scope of my silly computer science degree I'm getting.
computer science. Is there a boo sound effect in here?
That's much better than every sound effect. I like that.
Thank
Um,
you.
we
Yeah,
should,
goblins suck. Oh, sorry. What were you
yeah.
gonna say?
If we were going online for longer, I think we should like spice up our sound effects even more. Like get like a whole slew of things we could do. But
True.
regardless, goblins, they're just like not like they also like are always irredeemable. Like They're always like,
Mhm.
oh, they're evil. It's okay if we go kill them. Why
Yeah.
is that? What? I don't know. It's similar to orcs. Like, we have orcs in this list. But like, I
Yeah,
don't
that would
know.
also be super low.
It seems like a silly way to write fantasy. It
Yeah.
seems very not well thought out. I don't know. I'm down
Are
to
you
put it
thinking
in F.
D or F here?
I'm okay with
Yeah.
either.
I would prefer F, I think.
Okay. Above Gnome.
Yeah, above Gnome though still.
Okay, next we got the Gorgon. When you look at the snakes in the hair, you turn to stone.
Gorgon.
Classic example
Yeah.
is Medusa. But they exist in other words, in other places. Like this is
I think
Damia from Magic the Gathering right there. Put like an image
Dami.
of the card on screen.
Damia, wow, okay.
Or
Um,
I think it's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
sure. No, I mean, it's an exotic name.
Mhm.
I would say this is A tier.
You like Gorgons?
I do. I think the stone thing is really cool. I feel like it's have interesting stories, like the story of Medusa and everything, you know. It's fun to see how like people try to not look at the snakes.
Yeah.
Is it looking at the snakes or is it looking at the Medusa's eyes? Or are they just so close that it's
I thought it was the snakes. It could be the eyes.
I always thought it was the eyes, but then the snakes start acting up.
It's
I'll
probably
put
the
some
eyes.
info on screen or something.
Yeah.
But
Um.
otherwise it seems like you could just not look up. I don't know. Maybe it is the snakes.
You
'Cause
gotta
they're
use
the
your
ones that start
echolocation.
yeah, they're the ones that start moving and stuff. But
Hmm.
I
I
don't know,
think you're right
I
though.
do like them.
I like them. They really freaked me out as a kid. I remember like after I watched the Percy Jackson, like the first movie, I think, or one of the movies. I don't remember which one. I was like afraid to like. There's a scene I think where like someone opens like their fridge and like the Medusa's head is inside, and like for a brief period of time I was like afraid of opening the fridge. It's like
Oh
what?
yeah, that actually was that was a creepy scene actually. And
Yeah,
that was like in the post credits too.
yeah, that freaked me
Yeah.
out as a kid.
Yeah, that is scary. But I feel like their scariness kind of adds to it.
Yeah,
Makes for a
and
terrifying villain.
I think it is a really terrifying feeling because turning into stone is like it's such like a quick thing
There's
to
not
do.
much you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down for A. I think it'd be bottom of A for me. Like I'm thinking
Me
more
too.
as like a B tier for me, so like, I'm down to put in A. But like,
Okay.
mm,
Yeah, it could get a promotion. I think below elves.
yeah. Okay, we got a big one there. We got dragons.
I know, look, this is stereotypical. I think for me dragons would be S tier.
Yeah, this is easy S tier.
Okay. Yeah. I mean it is like very common, you know, but or like it's common to like dragons, but come on. They're
Yeah,
loved for a reason.
but, like
They're
if you think
very
of like
cool.
dragon type Pokemon, they're all cool. If you think of like Smog or like Smaug or whatever you pronounce the name from like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit
Yeah.
from The Hobbit, very cool. Like there's like all dragons have like a cool element to them, but like you can even go the other direction. Like if you think about how to train your dragon and like Toothless, Toothless is so cute and adorable, and it's like the whole arc of like, wow, look, these dragons don't have to be scary; they can also be our friends. That's also like such an interesting arc. Um, like everything about dragons is just like amazing. Um,
Mm.
they can
What's
breathe
your favorite
fire.
dragon type Pokemon?
What's my favorite dragon from Pokemon? Um,
Yeah, dragon type.
that give me a second to think about that. I like I do like Dragonite. Like Dragonite is like one of my favorites. But that's kind of a basic answer as well. Um, like Zekrom and Reshiram are pretty cool. Um,
Hmm,
I don't know. I'd have to think about it for longer.
that's fair.
Is Haxorus a dragon type?
Yeah.
Yeah, Haxorus is pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah,
Who's your
dragons
favorite
are great.
dragons from Pokemon?
Well, I mean, you called it basic, but Dragonite's my favorite.
Yeah, I think Dragonite has to be my favorite too. Like,
Pseudo legendary.
mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, dragons are great. I feel like there's not
Mhm.
much to say about them, but you know,
I,
they're
they
loved.
can
They're loved.
they can be done poorly. I think my main complaint with the dragons is when they're put into like a semi like I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Like to me, it's like a little strange that dragons exist within Game of Thrones because it's such a common like monster. You know, like I feel like it almost attracts me to realism with the series. Again, I haven't seen it.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think that's a little strange. Like within the context where you'd want a dragon, like wonderful.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, now let's do a quick 180. What do you think of vampires?
Um, I mean, you can kind of go the Twilight route again. I do think I much prefer vampires over werewolves.
Wah wah. That opinion.
What?
Vampires suck. They're so bad.
How?
They're just like, they're just like I feel like like all vampires, like the stereotype is that they're either sexy or they're horny, and probably both. They just want
And
to drink your blood, and like it's just
I
like
love that for them.
boring. It's it's so boring.
Look,
And like they're not that spooky. Why do they like vampire bats? I don't get it. I don't know. What's your pitch for vampires?
well, I'm not really pitching them. All I think is I would have said C tier above werewolves.
Hmm.
Like my pitch, I'm not like gonna vouch for them. I don't think, because all I'll say is that I'm good for them for being me and whatever you said. Um,
Sexy and
what are they?
horny.
Yeah, sexy and horny. Good for them. Um, I love that for them. But I just, there's not really much about them. I just think they're better than the werewolves who just like take off their shirts and just run around.
Okay, but the thing is, unlike werewolves, there hasn't ever been a sexy vampire.
Um,
From my perspective, I'm asexual, but like I don't find the vampire aesthetic appealing at all.
I mean, I can't say that I'm necessarily, am attracted to vampires, but I don't know if that doesn't really impact my placement of them much.
I think they're about as good as gnomes.
Yeah, I don't really consider myself attracted to any creature on this list so far,
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
if I'm being honest here. So, like, I'm going from like an unbiased perspective here. I feel like
Especially
I've
this
already,
image, just like a kid in a Halloween costume.
yeah. Plus, I feel like I've already made myself sound weird in these videos, in the past.
Yeah.
So I just think like I should stay away from talking about the sex appeal of some of these mythical creatures. I will say that I don't think it can be F. I guess since you hate them so much, I'd put them in D for you.
No,
But
I'm fine with them as C, honestly. Just as long as we can put them below Werewolf.
okay, yeah, that's a compromise, I guess.
Yay! Oh, actually, I can put them above Werewolf because there's one place where I really like them, which is the film What We Do in the Shadows. There's a TV series as well. I haven't seen it, but it's a mockumentary about like vampires going on their daily life, and it's sort of like The Office, style, but like they're vampires. Um,
Oh, interesting.
and I hate vampires. I've made it clear. So I expected to hate this, but it is actually such a hilarious movie. You should watch What You Do in the Shadows. Or what we do in the shadows. Stu, best character. I love Stu. He's also not a vampire, so like that's not really vouching for the vampires too much. But
Stu? His name is Stu?
yeah, STU. He's like the token human friend of the vampires.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Okay,
could put
sure.
Vampires above werewolves for that because that's a good movie.
Cool. I mean, how sexy are the vampires in that movie?
I don't know.
See, I said I wasn't gonna make it weird. We should just move on.
Yeah, let's move on to the Yeti.
I'm a big Yeti fan. I know
Yetis.
they're kind of boring, but I just like the snow, and I kind of like being trapped in the blizzard, and then you just see like a giant Yeti.
It's just like
Terrifying
it's a more
situation to
boring
be in.
Bigfoot. Bigfoot and Sasquatch are better.
No, but they're in the woods. Who cares about the woods? Mountains all
Yeah,
day.
but like I feel like they can hide behind things.
The
And so it's
Yeti
like,
can hide behind
will you
big
be able to see
rocks.
it? Yeah, but I guess they could. That's like more boring though. The Hydra behind a big rock. Like imagine like
Versus
going
what?
behind a rock and there's like Yeti crouching there. Like hi.
Yeah, but the Sasquatch can't hide behind a tree super well either.
I feel like if you're like dense forest, it's like you think you see a Sasquatch go through the trees, but you can't really be sure because it's like so dense.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, where would you put it?
I think it's like a regular B tier thing.
Yeah, I would say B tier too.
Okay. We both gave like such different opinions.
No, I know. I was just prefacing it because we put giants and cyclopses in D tier, but I just feel like where the Yeti is makes it more exciting.
Yeah, I think it's low B. I bet you think it's high B.
No, I wait. What's that middle one there?
It's Devil.
Devil. Oh, I do think it's better than Devil, but you could put it below if you want.
Yay.
All right, mermaids.
What's your mermaid take?
Um. Okay. How do I say this without making it sound weird?
Oh boy.
Okay, I'm not gonna. Never mind. I'll say that mermaids are kind of they're fine.
That's the least weird thing you could say. Okay.
No, I know. I did. No, I took it away from the direction I was gonna go.
Mermaids are sort of like centaurs, but like take fish instead of a horse.
All I'm saying is that I feel like there's a mermaid fetish out there.
Okay, okay. That's a weird direction to start with, but okay.
No, sorry. I was only thinking because I was still thinking about the vampires.
Sure. Is Aquaman a mermaid, or is he just like a man in the
He's
like a
just a
merman?
man.
He's just a man.
I actually don't know much about Aquaman at all, but I like to think he's a man.
Okay,
Just for my own personal headcanon.
sure.
Mermaids though, I don't know. I wouldn't put them above. Um, I'd be between C and B, I think.
I
They
haven't
are pretty
consumed
similar to centaurs.
I haven't consumed enough mermaid media. Like I haven't seen The Little Mermaid. I haven't seen like a lot of those things.
Hmm
So like I don't really have much of an opinion. I think they're often more like they're less evil than a lot of the other like creatures we've talked about here. Like I feel they're often depicted in positive lights. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have too strong of an opinion on them either. I think B or C is fairly accurate. Yeah, like here.
Sure.
Now we got skeletons.
And when this is like tier
What's your do you say?
F.
Like why can't they move?
I don't get that. What they're just not cool.
Yeah, they're annoying. If you watch the Mario character video, I think it's Mario characters, you hear me talk about dry bones and how it's annoying that they just reassemble. I don't know. I think skeletons would be cool if like they happen like once in a blue moon. But like, why are they so common? It's just like the set of bones you have.
hmm
That's not cool at all.
Uh, I don't really. I mean, they kind of stand out on this mythical creature list because they're like they
They,
exist, but
yeah, but
skeletons
they,
that move around aren't very exciting, you know?
yeah. I think they can be kind of quirky, and like, you know, agile and stuff, and that can be kind of fun. Which
Yeah,
makes me
like
want because
spooky, scary skeletons.
yeah, like spooky scary skeletons.
Those
Which makes me want
skeletons.
to put them like low D rather than high F.
I guess yeah. Actually, goblins are way worse when I think about
Yeah.
it.
So I think skeletons doesn't deserve to be all the way at the bottom.
That's fair. That's a good
But
point.
yeah, they're not really mythical except for that they're moving. But the fact that they're moving isn't that interesting. So
No,
like,
it does not help them.
yeah.
I'd
Let's
almost
move
prefer
on.
if they weren't moving, if I'm being honest.
Then I think it would deserve F because it wouldn't be a mythical creature. It would just be like some dead guy.
Yeah, but I would rather that, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
All right, moving on to Phoenix. Sis.
Phoenix. They're
To the.
cool. They don't. They're sort of like dragons,
Mm-hmm.
but like I don't know. They don't have the iconic level that dragons have. And
Maybe
like
not.
I don't think it's the Phoenix's fault that they're less iconic, but I think just like the lack of iconicness makes me less interested in them.
I don't know that I agree. I really think the Phoenix has a lot going for it. It's very similar to dragons, but it has the whole, rise from its ashes or whatever.
Oh,
It's just like super cool.
by the way, I was vouching for A tier there, just to be clear.
Yeah, I figured you were vouching for A tier. When I first saw this, I'm thinking like S tier. Oh,
When you say the rise from the ashes thing, like, can you elaborate on that? Because that could easily convince me. They keep going on that.
you don't know about the
No,
ashes?
I do know about that, but like keep talking about like why it makes them cool, and I might jump on that.
Well, just I think the whole. I mean, it's like rises from its ashes, so it's pretty much like an invincible creature.
Yeah.
But it has, I don't know, they just have like a bunch of cool like powers. I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like the Harry Potter Phoenix. Um, I mean, I'm sure there's some wizardry to it, but it's like it has some sort of special abilities. I remember.
Mhm.
Plus, the whole like the whole fire aesthetic is just super pretty, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I don't know. I mean, they might not be as iconic as the dragons, but I just feel like I don't
I
know.
feel
I
though.
think they're just really cool birds.
I feel
That
like though. Sorry. Keep going.
that was pretty much it. They're cool
Okay.
birds.
I think the fact that the whole rise from the ashes aesthetic or whatever makes me almost feel like a ship of thesis situation. Like if you have a phoenix and it dies and it comes back, is it really the same phoenix? Like it feels
Mm.
like it'd be hard to have a phoenix as a friend, like a dragon as a friend, or like a
Eh,
phoenix as like a formidable foe than a dragon as a foe.
Like, I feel like the Phoenix feels less like it has a personality.
I do think the phoenix does retain its memories, though. I
Yeah, but
thought.
like, it might, but like, I still feel like the personality feels like it's less there.
Yeah, I guess I could put it very top of A.
I'm down for S. I think it's really
Okay.
pretty. Like, it's extremely pretty, which I think boosts it up. I don't think it should be above dragons though.
No, I wasn't ever vouching for above dragons.
Yeah,
Um, but
I'm
yeah, I
I'm criticizing it,
okay.
but it's still like better than everything in A tier.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm,
but like, I almost feel
um,
like maybe dragon should be an SS tier.
is that we've never done that before?
We haven't. Dragons are really cool though. They're one of the best things
Is that
ranked.
is that possible to make another tier here? Add a row above. Whoa. Does it fit on screen?
I'll check in a second. This pink SS tier, or maybe S plus. Is that better?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly check OBS. Is it on screen? Yeah, it's on screen. Yeah,
Nice. Okay.
yeah,
Cool. That I like that. I agree.
sweet.
All right. This is a what
Minotaur.
is that? What? Oh, okay, Minotaur.
You chose this image. It wasn't me.
I know. I know. I just completely forgot what that was. We have so many like big monster type creatures.
They're kind of boring. They're just like aggressive, and like I don't
Yeah.
care.
It does fall to similar like Cyclops or not Goblin, like Cyclops giant type thing.
I think they're slightly more interesting. I mean,
I do
not
too.
necessarily
I think
more.
the half bowl thing is interesting.
And they're sort of like their own thing, you know,
Hmm. The
which is
labyrinth, that whole story's cool.
makes me want to put them somewhere in C. Almost like
Yeah,
bottom of C, almost maybe.
I kind of prefer them over both vampires and werewolves.
I'm okay with that too. There's a sort of ruined by Twilight,
Yeah,
but yeah, not any higher than that.
no, I agree.
I think we got some fun ones coming up. We have like a good final five.
Well, I don't know what two of these are just from the images, but
Well,
what's this one?
this is a troll. It's like a little thing under a bridge.
Oh, okay. Um, uh, I mean, they're better than. I don't know. I mean, they're definitely better than like Yetis, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
But
like,
I couldn't put them. I'm thinking B tier here.
I'm also agreeing with B tier. I think it's cool that they like live under the bridge or whatever. But like, honestly, it makes maybe even C tier. Like, what is the appeal of the troll? Like, what makes the troll interesting? Like,
Yeah,
they want you to pass the bridge, right? That's the thing.
but don't they give like riddles and stuff, or do they not?
Maybe, but like other people give riddles. Like the Sphinx's riddles are much cooler than the troll riddles.
I guess the trolls are just kind of iconic though,
But like,
in a
yeah,
way that like something like a Yeti isn't.
sure.
But I could say bottom B if you wanted, or even top of C. I'm really not a big troll defender.
Yeah,
I guess
I
just
think
not on.
somewhere bottom
You
of
could
B or
do
top of C.
you could do top of C.
Okay.
You're
That
right
sounds
that
good.
they're besides being a little iconic, like there's not much more going for them than other
Yeah,
creatures down there.
sure.
All right,
Unicorn.
unicorn. I
Okay,
mean,
I want your take first.
oh boy. I feel like every time you say that, you have like a super strong opinion on it.
I do have a
And then
strong
I
opinion on unicorn.
and then I say something and you like completely disagree.
Yeah,
Like
and I think that's
your
gonna happen
opinion.
here. What's your opinion on unicorns?
Ah, boy. Okay, look. I mean, I think I'm a little bit in the middle here. I don't think they're that special. They are just a horse with a horn, but I think they're kind of pretty. You know, like
They are kind of pretty.
a little. It's stereotypical again, but they're pretty. I'm a sucker for rainbow colors. Um,
They're like a
I think
magical horse.
I think Pegasi, is that the plural form for Pegasus? I think those are better because they do fly. But I would say that unicorns are probably high B, low A.
I agree. I think it's A tier bordering on S for me. I think
Oh wow.
unicorns are really cool. Um, I don't know. There's nothing like dragons. I have like a reason to explain why they're cool.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a lot of cool stories with them, and
Yeah.
like the size differential between like a dragon and a different creature is really interesting. Unicorns themselves, they're not like that appeal there, other than like they're pretty horses, but like
Mm.
I don't know. There's sort of like an exciting factor of like I don't know. They're cool. Like it's sort of like an otter, you know? Like there's nothing too
Yeah.
special about an otter. Like otters are really
Yeah.
cute.
So I feel like that pushes unicorns over the edge, especially
It's a
given
fair
like how many
it's
like
a fair point.
dark evil things we're dealing with, and this is like a magical happy horse. Like
Yeah. No, I agree. I what's at the very bottom of A right there?
that's the Gorgon. Sorry, it's not the best photo. Maybe it should have zoomed in. Maybe, but I think probably above Gorgon, maybe higher.
Yeah, I would say above Gorgon. Actually I would do above Elf too, I think.
Sure, I think that's a good time for it.
But yeah, that's a good you are right though that you can't really explain it besides I mean I would just say it's pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's a good placement for it.
Okay, next we have the Hydra.
All right. What are your opinions on this one? Because I have some
Yo, sure.
opinions on this.
So like the Hydra is like you cut off one head and multiple heads
Mhm.
grow. Um,
Yeah.
which as a mechanic when fighting them is really annoying because like you can't really easily kill it.
Mm.
Um, um, I think it's decently cool, but it's not like that cool. I'd say it's B tier. What do you think?
This is an S tier mythical creature.
Okay, explain. Convince me.
Look, I think pretty I mean a Hydra is a Hydra not just three-headed dragon that
It
can
can't
grow
fly.
multiple heads.
It can't fly.
They can't fly. But besides that, I mean, I don't like the dragon, nothing's touching dragon on this tier list, right? So that's why I'm not vouching for S plus.
Sure.
But I just think I'm a sucker for for the dragon aesthetic, I think. The pointy heads, um, they're just really cool. I don't it's another one of those things where it's kind of hard to explain, but I think, it's the mechanic of three heads, you can say it's annoying, but like really basing this off like fighting it. I feel like the multiple heads growing thing is like a super interesting feature of it that like most of these creatures don't have a feature that's on that level.
Mhm. I think
Like,
one of my problems with
yeah.
Hydra though is that like yeah that makes them really menacing or whatever. But I think they're a little bit deprived of a personality. Like I feel like the dragon, the alien, the elf, the Gorgon, they all have personalities. I don't know what the Hydra's personality is other than just like being a boss to fight at the end.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I mean the dragon's personality isn't like super strong either.
But like, think about the personality that Toothless has. Think about the personality that Smog has. Think about the personality that like, I don't know. What's another good example? Um, like a baby dragon. Like picture a baby dragon. Can you picture like
Yeah.
baby hydras? Like, I don't think that's really in the media.
I guess yeah, it's the fact that the media hasn't depicted it like that. But I think it's a creature, there's so much more that could be done with hydras
Hmm.
that I just think like from the base level, you know, there's a lot that could be done. I just think like as a creature itself, as a standalone creature, like if we're ignoring, what the failed potentials with it, I feel like it's an easy S tier.
I think I'd be happy with top of A.
Okay, that's
Do
fair.
do you want to keep fighting for S? I could be convinced
No,
probably.
I mean it's another one of those things where I feel like my like defense of it isn't super strong just because it's something where it's like just cool. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, it's cool. It looks cool. It has the head chopping mechanic,
Sure.
but I don't know. I can't really defend it, so I feel like top of A is good.
Yeah.
But it's a cool creature.
Next we got the witch.
Mm.
With a classic witch hat right there.
Witch hats are pretty cool. What is your opinion? I think these last two ones I have somewhat strong opinions on. So go
I
for it
don't
with
have
witch.
I really don't have strong opinions on the witch. It would fall in like B tier, kind of average.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought that at first, but now that I thought about it, I feel like there's two main things that drive the witch. The witch itself sort of is an occupation. Like you can have a witch that's a human. Like depends on different lore. Sometimes the witch is like a monster, but sometimes it's just like you know a thing that a person is. Like you can think
Mhm.
about like historically, like witch trials or whatever, like and like the prosecution of like women who were doing science or something like that. I don't remember the exact history,
Right.
but like it's like this is dark history there. Regardless, um, I think that detracts from my attachment to the witch as a mythical creature. Um, but at the same time, I think everything you said about a siren is true about a witch in terms of like empowerment. Um, I don't know if I'm the best person to speak on that.
But I do think that
Yeah.
like I do think that like it is like a lot of like what's that show called? It's that what is it called? It's like the cartoon. Um the Owl House. Like I feel like that is sort of like a
Mm.
good representation of like what a witch is. Like I haven't watched much of the show, but
Mhm.
I don't know. So like I have strong opinions about witches, but like I agree with you that they're B or C tier. Um
Yeah, I mean, I could do top of B just based on what you were saying.
mhm. I think it's cool like as a magic user, witches can do pretty
Hmm.
cool things. I
Magic is
do
cool.
I don't like the I have a pot and I'm gonna put in like a rabbit's foot and like a lizard's
Right.
leg. Like that to me is D tier.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
like
that witch is kind of lame.
a witch, like a spellcaster witch, like if you're thinking like witch from Minecraft, how about? I think that's
Sure.
cooler.
Harry Potter
Um,
witch.
Harry Potter witch, sure.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is hard with some of these because they are
Hmm.
super like opposite in terms of where we would rank them probably. But I think
Hmm.
similar to the elf, we could just look at that one witch perspective, and
Hmm.
I would say be above. Um, what's that second image?
Siren.
Siren. Well, see, I definitely think it's above the devil. I don't know. For me, Siren and that would be pretty close.
Mm.
But I could probably give the edge to Witch, I think.
I think witches have more personality than sirens. So like siren, even if you're talking about like the I'm gonna put you in a stew witch, there's a personality there. Where siren,
That's a fair point.
what do you say there?
That's a fair point.
Like, I almost feel like it's a sort of disservice putting them next to each other.
But the Sirens can't go below the devil. The devils are lame. I don't,
So like the Yeti and the ghosts go above both of them.
sure.
Okay.
All right. This last one is what is this thing?
This is a zombie right here.
Oh. You have strong opinions about a zombie?
I have massive like I don't actually have that strong opinions about witch. But, like the
It's my,
zombie,
oh boy.
strong.
Okay, I'm hoping. Okay, I don't like zombies.
Gasp.
What?
Oh no. We're gonna have to have another tier that's not.
Oh, you're kidding. You are okay. You like zombies?
I would be down to put zombies in
Don't.
S tier. Zombies
That
can be
is the
nasty.
worst. That is the worst take you've possibly ever had on this channel.
Oh,
That
tell me
is
about
quite
zombies.
possibly.
Tell me about
They're
zombies.
just. What do? They don't do anything. They just eat people. They're so boring. I can't even talk about zombies because I run out of things to say after like 15 seconds.
They're interesting. Like a lot of the complaints I've given, like the Hydra, the Phoenix, I've been like, there's no personality there. That's not my complaint with a zombie, because zombies are like inherently lacking in personality.
They have
But
nothing.
like I think it's interesting, like from like a storytelling perspective. Like I feel like zombie stories are extremely interesting because of what they're able to do. Like to simulate like a pandemic, but like not just like a oh you get sick and die pandemic, but like people actually transforming and like attacking you, and then like zombies have the cool storytelling perspective where like you could then have like a loved one who gets bitten by a zombie, turn into a zombie, and now you have to face your loved one, but like now they're on the other side, and like that's cool. That's cool, and like just like trying to figure out like survival within a world where like you can get bitten and then turn on people and like you slowly transform, and like there's so much good drama there, which is like why like All of Us Are Dead, The Walking Dead, like there's so many good zombie stories out there. And, and even like stories that like don't directly involve zombies, but, like use that sort of storytelling device are just always really cool. So that maybe you don't need a zombie. Maybe that's what I'm convincing myself. Because like if you think about like there's an arc in season 3 of the 100 that's sort of like zombies. Um, it's more like a broader hypnosis, I guess, than like a zombie. They're not biting each other. Um, and I think that's really cool. I really like that arc. So maybe it's not like zombie specific, but it's more like I don't know. What do you think about that? What I said?
I mean, I do think the zombies are in so much that they're bound to be in something good, they're bound to make some sort of interesting story at some point. But I also think they're just so commonplace. They have so many boring stories. And it's almost too I just feel like zombies are everywhere.
I think
Like
it's hard
it's
to have a
fun.
boring zombie story.
I mean the boring zombie story for me is where a there's a pandemic and zombies are everywhere and then a couple of humans are trying to survive. And that's like every zombie story.
I think
Like
that'll
sure the ones
always be
that
interesting though.
I don't know though. I just think they're not interesting after they're repeated so often. I think you're right that when you throw in like a morality question or like one of your friends gets bitten and then you're like, what do I do? That's interesting.
But every single
Some of
zombie
those,
story will involve that.
yeah,
Or not.
but some of the zombie stories are even though they have that, they're just less interesting. You can have a friend get bitten, but then sometimes a friend just dies. Sometimes they don't get bitten, or like they get, but there's not the question of like, do I save them? It's just like, all right, I'm leaving them to die. I feel like
Can
a lot of the zombie stories don't have the they're about to turn type thing.
can you
They
put
have
a
like
photo of Zomboni from Plants vs Zombies on screen?
sure.
How could you not like that?
I just yeah. Zamboni. What's his name? Zamboni?
Zomboni. It's like a
Oh,
Zamboni, but like a zombie.
oh, great. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll be able to convince me from like bottom C tier.
Oh, can we make a new tier?
Yeah, we can make a new tier.
Can we put above C, maybe?
Sh- Yeah, but as long as we know that that's not
Yeah.
actual placement.
Okay.
But we can't have two pink ones though, can we?
Oh, I guess not. That's purple.
Sure.
This is a wild tier list.
Does it all still fit according to the OBS?
I think it should. Yeah, it does. It still fits.
Okay. Well, there we go. Wow, this is our longest tier list in terms of height, top to
Yeah.
bottom. We have 8 categories. Well,
Whoa.
I mean, there we go. I feel
There
like
we go.
at times it was hard to fully explain, why we like or dislike the creatures, just because some are cool, some are just kind of lame.
Yeah.
But hopefully we made our points, make sense.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I
I
don't
feel.
know, I feel like it's good.
Mm-mm. I feel some of my thoughts weren't fully. Like I feel like I need more time to like
encapsulate my thoughts on unicorns or witches, for example. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of these have more complex ideas than we're able to get into.
Yeah, I think with a couple more, with a couple minutes to think, I probably could have convinced you of Hydra.
Yeah.
Hydra's, I feel like I'm missing something, but yeah, we probably could have vouched harder for things with more time.
Mm-hmm.
So, if your thing is low, maybe with more time it would be a little higher.
Yeah. If you want, we can
But
put Hydra bottom of S. I don't think it belongs there, but if you want.
no, that's okay. We can leave it where it is.
Okay.
Just based on the merits of my explanation. Do it for you, Hydra, but next time I've got you.
Well, that seems to be the wraps for now. Do you have any thoughts to share with the audience?
Just in general?
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking for my general thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. I think sometimes in life, people have a tendency to focus too much on, what you don't have. And I think sometimes it's good to just appreciate what you do have and, you know, be happy that you have what you have and that, you know, you don't need to always be chasing the next best thing. And sometimes you can just be settled and be content in the moment.
Nice.
Those are my general thoughts to leave you with. And also to check out the link in the description below to submit a future tier list.
Mm-hmm. I was going to leave that as my final thought
Oh,
if you
okay.
didn't bring it up.
Gotcha. I
But
mean, do you have a general thought to leave the audience with?
I do have a general thought, and I'm partly leaving this for the audience and partly leaving this for you, Nicholas.
Oh.
I haven't played the new Breath of the Wild game yet. It just came out recently. As of time of
Let's
recording this, and not that
let's
recently,
go.
a month ago or something. I have not played it yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's
I
go.
want to play it. I haven't played I haven't finished Breath of the Wild. Um,
Oh.
I've heard the new game is a lot like Bad Piggies, something like the
Ooh.
Angry Birds game, which is kind of funny to me. Like that sounds like a lot of fun. I Does anyone have any recommendations? I heard that like, you get your Breath of the Wild save to like affect like your current game. But I feel like I'd rather just jump right into the new game than like play through Breath of the Wild right now, given that I wasn't able to finish it earlier.
Yeah. It's interesting because they're you do kind of need to know what happened in Breath of the Wild, but if you don't care about spoilers, I can just tell you what happens at some point.
Yeah.
Because in terms of gameplay, they're not super similar, but I do think I get a little bored because the overworld is pretty similar, so you might get a little bored finishing Breath of the Wild and then jumping to Tears of the Kingdom and having it be similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know if you guys are playing it, stuff like that. It's my favorite series. I haven't actually played much, but I've started playing now that I have time off. I've started playing a little more recently.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do a tier list on that at some point.
I mean, after I play that game, and especially if we get a guest who's played a lot of Legend of Zelda games, we could do a tier list of
Ooh,
that.
yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
Cool. Well, anyway, this has been a long video. Let's wrap it up.
All
Check out the link
right.
in the description, and remember to stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
Yeah. Besties,
Tier.
B.
Goodbye.